welcome. This is the Any Percent LP round robin stage tournament between Ekkoet and ItsJinxed. It's going to be a good race. We're going to see a slight minor run deviation and get to see some cool routing changes between both runners. And I'm going to ping the racers and see if we can get started. All right, both runners are ready, and I'm counting them down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So there's going to be a minor stream delay. And the runners are off. Okay, so as far as I know, Ekkoet is playing on 1-4, and he's doing a Rafters route with Queen's Gardens in the late game. And ItsJinxed is going to be doing the more traditional King Station route with a safer late game choice of Deep Nest. So, Ekkoet has the advantage in terms of just raw speed, but his route is a lot more volatile and open for mistakes, and that could end up setting him back depending on how well he plays in like a tournament setting. And here we are in King's Pass. I'm gonna go through the regular King's Pass commentary, seeing our runners jump from platform to platform. No fancy movement, just trying to get as tight of turnarounds as possible while we have no other upgrades. Clean Vengefly Pogo from ItsJinxed. See how Ekkoet does. Makes it cleanly through as well. ItsJinxed is going to be finishing King's Pass with a 58.63. Pretty average time. And Ekkoet is going to be finishing with a 1-minute King's Pass. It's not what he wants, but he'll take it for a tournament route. And here you'll see our runners jumping through King's Pass. It's to avoid a slowdown on the ground. For some reason, Team Cherry makes you walk while you're in Dirtmouth. It does it in a couple other spots, but in those places, jumping actually doesn't work. Just specifically for King's Pass, the jumping gets rid of the slowdown. Neither runner doing an inventory drop. You can press inventory on the frame you walk off the game. Oh, sorry. The frame you walk off the game. The frame you walk off a ledge, and it'll open your inventory like 1, 2, 2, 1, and you'll have uncapped fall speed. It's a clean double spike from ItsJinxed, and let's see if Ekkoet gets it. And he does really clean from both runners, but it is CP. Current patch makes it a lot easier to hit that trick. Ekkoet's struggling with the Vengefly. That Vengefly is usually not a problem, you can just pogo under it, but sometimes you can have some wonky spawn patterns and drift from just bad RNG, and it'll get in the way. Nice statue pogo from ItsJinxed. And the same for Ekkoet. Our runners seem to be pretty tied in terms of strats right now, just some minor RNG differences. Wonder how that'll go when we get to the late game. Now, on our way to False Knight, we'll see the runners going for just constantly hitting False Knight. There's no attacks he can do if you just keep pounding at him, and he'll stagger before he even actually is able to do any attack. But he could jump backwards, which makes the pattern a little more difficult. So getting one jump back for ItsJinxed, and good RNG for Ekkoet. So you'll see that as a minor time save for Ekkoet over ItsJinxed. About 1 or 2 seconds. And it looks like Ekkoet is playing in English. Um, I think Ekkoet may have forgotten to swap over to Chinese. For those of you who don't know, Chinese text, not only is it more condensed, it scrolls by on the text physically faster. Like it's just much faster than English, and you can see it right here in the menus as he talks to Snail Shaman. That's gonna be a 20-second time loss for Ekkoet. That is very unfortunate. So the time save primarily comes from Lem, but there's also Snail Shaman there, Coral after Umu. All those places, they add up to being about 20 seconds of time loss. So over the run, we're not going to see its immediate effect, but Ekkoet's going to bleed a bit of time over ItsJinxed from those places. ItsJinxed coming to the first Balder, 1 spit, and he gets a 2nd spit. Probably not too happy about it, but we'll definitely take it for a race. And Ekkoet gets a 1st spit. Very nice. He's feeling happy right now. Oh, that English. Oh no. And he's going to opt to take a bench because he's on 2 HP. Green Path being one of our hardest sections in the early game. Has like the perfect mix of RNG with Boulder Spits and also hard fights with all your platforming, your Moss Knights, and your Hornet. It's like both runners went for left side, climbing up on the Gruzzers. I don't want to say recently, but a couple years back, people didn't ever think to go left side. They just went up right, except people found out that it's actually saves the same amount of time in terms of speed, but then also gives you an extra tick. And that looked like both 1st spits. Making our way through Green Path, this section's kind of just a soul gathering. Honestly, all of Green Path is kind of just soul gathering and then trick. So right here, you're gonna see our runners collecting soul on these moss husks, hitting these birds, coming up, and then we have fireball skip. And it looks like both runners are gonna be going for a 2 fireball. Playing it safe. Oh, and ItsJinxed messes up. Got the turnaround, but probably double tapped fireball too fast and ended up falling down. Goes for the alternate squid pogo backup, loses about 10 seconds, and Ekkoet also misses it. No, what is happening? And then also opts to go for the squid pogo backup. Here, ItsJinxed is collecting more soul, getting prepared for the 2nd fireball skip. Once again, Green Path just kind of this cycle of soul gathering into trick. Messes up that jump. That one, the fireball turnaround is not the main requirement. It's more of getting a coyote frame jump, and it's too late to catch the homie step stool cycle. The husk's already too far to the right, but it looks like Ekkoet gets it nicely. And both runners enter this section with full soul already, so they don't need to really soul collect for this Moss Knight. You can kill this Moss Knight in 2 fireballs. Let's see what ItsJinxed goes for. Choosing to play it safe with just the standard 3 fireball method. Understandable. Ekkoet attempts the 2 fireball, but misses it. Looks like they didn't jump close or high enough. Now ItsJinxed is gathering soul for our next Green Path soul section, and it's gonna be Vengefly King. Gets it cleanly, nice. Ekkoet getting into 1 HP, opting to do a little more a low soul strategy, doing pogos instead. Very impressive. What route do the runners do? Ekkoet does QGA plus Rafters, and ItsJinxed does the exact opposite with Deep Nest plus King's Station. Entering Hornet, our runners are going to be looking to get a lot of staggers. They want the needle throw attack, because when the Hornet does needle throw attack, it resets the stagger count and you can just pound nail fireballs into her. Just like what ItsJinxed is doing right there. Very clean fight. And Ekkoet looks like not struggling either. Gets a nice double there. Ending the fight on 4 soul, so not a perfect fight in terms of soul use, soul management, but overall very good. Looks like ItsJinx's quit out time was a 36, and then Ekkoet's quit out time is a 45. Now that the runners have dash, they're going to be quitting out and going to get our next upgrade, Mantis Claw. This is soft required to beat the game. And this section is a pretty movement heavy split. We're going to see the runners opt to go for a lot of drops with turnaround nail slashes, or playing it safe with some dashes, extra dashes. Got a ceiling boost from Ekkoet, and a nice static slash at the very end. Yeah, I think at this point, for Ekkoet to actually go into his menu and change the Chinese, it's a net loss. So it's better just tough it out with the English. Cry a little bit on the inside every single time you see a text box appear. ItsJinxed is taking a lot of hard falls. Not sure if that's just a race nerves thing. Picking up some extra soul. Or sorry, extra geo, it looks like. No, extra soul. Looks like he's going for a 3 fireball comfy pogo, and Ekkoet goes for a 1 fireball setup. Both our runners getting it very cleanly, but ItsJinxed is going to lose a bit of time for having to gather that extra soul. And they've become visually synced. Oh, interesting. Mantis pogo for ItsJinxed. I think they realized that they were a little bit too far to the right and went for a safer way, dashing to the right. And now our runners are visually synced. It happened previously, and I didn't mention it, but every time on these quitouts, you'll see Ekkoet and ItsJinxed placing their mouse over where they think the start button will be, and then just mashing it as soon as they load in. Because the mouse gains control before the screen visually shows it, so you can quickly enter your menu, and it saves about half a second each time if you do it properly. It's mouse quitouts, and it makes controller players sad. Just one more reason why keyboard is the actual correct way to play this game. Now, coming into Grezbomb, our runners are going to be trying to collect up exactly 6 soul as they make their way to perform a quick kill that is 3 nail fireballs and then 6 nail hits. That'll leave them with another 2 fireballs to do the Grezzer cleanup, hopefully getting perfect cleanups from both runners. Looks like Ekkoet managed to collect a lot more soul. Isn't going to really need to hit that tusk at all. And a clean Grezmother fight from both of them. ItsJinxed getting a little bit worse RNG, Grezmother drifting upwards and then giving space to do an attack. Not what you like to see, but ultimately loses basically nothing. And the cleanup. Both runners getting not a great cleanup. But ItsJinxed struggles a bit more with the stragglers. And here the runner's going to take a bench before buying Shaman Stone. The best charm in the game. Amplifies your soul damage by 33%. Also increases the size of Vengeful Spirit. Insane Charm makes it very useful. The size increase is very useful for any percent where we only use Vengeful Spirit, and it lets us do a lot of double hits. When I was taking damage here, set up for a Shade Skip, and you saw Ekkoet do a inventory cancel where he opened his inventory before taking damage to get rid of the knockback. That would have probably pushed him in the wrong direction. It is worth noting that the optimal movement for suiciding there is actually to not inventory cancel, but it's RNG dependent. You see slightly different shade skip setups, but both of them get it very nicely with no problems, no fireballs. Vsauce-tastic, Ekkoet does QGA, and ItsJinxed does Deep Nest. But I'm pretty sure ItsJinxed runs on 1.5, so he does Deep Nest without Spore Shroom. Runners gonna be making their way to Dreamnail now. Another heavy platforming section, but on the bright side, there's no RNG, so take what you get. And once again, the English, the Ekkoet English. You're gonna see the stark difference right now as ItsJinxed mashes through that text in a second and Ekkoet lags behind. Claputo, our runners are on 1.5 for ItsJinxed and 1.4 for Ekkoet. So there you just saw Ekkoet do a Dream Dash where he dashes preemptively into where the platform is going to appear before it hasn't even appeared. Whereas ItsJinxed plays it safer and just prefers to jump once he sees them appear. Very minor time difference, but it is a swag strat from Ekkoet and a huge statement coming in during races where people can get really nervous, they can mess up the timing. And falling there is extremely terrible because you have to go through that whole cutscene where the moth appears again. Now that our runners have Dreamnail, they'll be in the Seer sleeping and they can perform Seer Skip where they're going to pause the menu to regain control of the night and then hopefully dash it in screen in time. ItsJinxed gets it, sliding across the ground, nice, and Ekkoet gets it as well. And while you're in this animation, your fall speed is uncapped, so you just fall down there really fast as if you did an inventory drop. Our runners have officially made it through the early game, no problems. Everything that you would love to see from an any percent run. They're now going to be making their way to the City of Tears, and this section is just a very big geo-gathering session. Getting relics so that you can sell to Lem, getting Gorgeous Husk, and then making your way to Watcher Knights. So here our runners are going to try to pick up 4 soul, or 6 soul, so they can fireball these husks, grab the what is it called? Watcher's Journal? I have no clue. I haven't played on English in so long, but we'll figure out once Ekkoet picks it up. It is a Wanderer's Journal, that's what it's called. But Ekkoet getting some pretty bad patterns with how the husks line up. That section could be surprisingly very difficult, with especially the HP loss being kind of horrible if you're not doing King Station route, which we see ItsJinxed doing, choosing to grab this relic, which Ekkoet will be picking up from a different place. But the big difference is just that this bench you can sit at, it's a very nice bench compared to the Spire bench. See, ItsJinxed making his way to Gorgeous Husk. And you'll see him go for doubles here, where he knocks Gorgeous Husk over his head, then goes for double hits with the fireball. Can be a bit iffy with how Gorgeous Husk decides to walk, but gets it cleanly, dropping 420 Geo, only picking up 419 though. The views, the clickbait gone. Looks like Ekkoet will be going for a bench here. Good decision. It's on 3 HP, which is very dangerous for this section. It's also worth noting that ItsJinxed has to get this lever now because he is not doing rafters. So if he doesn't get this lever, he's not soft lock, but a little bit screwed up with his route since he has to go to Lem directly after Watcher Knights from the top. Oh, when he misses the Spire Pogo, you get 2 tries with that. It is a Team Cherry intended trick. Oh, having a little trouble with the elevator. So yeah, that is intended by Team Cherry. Gets it cleanly now. You can just walk out of the rim to reset it. Looks like Ekkoet was going for that last hit of soul and ends up actually taking damage instead. You wanted 6 there for a heal, to heal to 5, and then also 1 fireball for this lantern. Or, not lantern, chandelier. Alright, we see ItsJinxed doing their JHS fight. Some people would say that this fight is actually harder than Watcher Knights. Opting for a safer strat with Pogos. And now we have Ekkoet entering Watcher Knights. We want to see only nail attacks, and instantly Icom's cursed the bounce, the worst attack. Alright, not a bad first watches for the pattern he got. Not what you would like to see, but he's okay that he's just made it on time. He's okay that he has full HP. And now that there's 2 watchers, we're gonna see Ekkoet trying to get as many triples as possible while only focusing on one of the knights, and then just double hitting whenever the other watcher rolls by, hoping for some even damage distribution so that they die at the same time. ItsJinxed starting their fight much better with an instant nail slash into potential triple hit. 2 rolls, neither of which were capitalized on. Ekkoet at 1 HP. Good triple hit. Playing it a lot more safe. Come on, Ekkoet. One more night. And he makes it through. Nice. ItsJinx's fight looks like it's going a little better. Slightly better RNG. Chilling at 3 HP. I think he took a heal, so he's fine. He's fine. Yeah, and heals back up to 4. You could use that soul to get some extra damage in, but in a race setting, it's much nicer to just calm your nerves, heal up, and then play a little more aggressively, knowing that you have the backup HP. Not getting nice patterns, either of them. And there's the back roll. The detriments of playing on 1-5 that ItsJinxed is. Another back roll. Luckily, neither of them were in that bad of situations. They were both into the wall and not directly into ItsJinx's face. So, at least no damage taken from it. Takes it nicely at 2 HP, but taking the fight a little slower, it looks like. Ekkoet is going for a dream nail drop on this elevator, struggling quite a bit. He shakes around and slashes the wall in anger or frustration. It's a bit of a swag strat to go for that because it barely saves any time, but I respect the swag dedication. Let's see what Spire Exit ItsJinxed goes for. There's a bunch of options. You can just choose to fall down regularly with the elevator called to the bottom. You can do an inventory drop off the right side. You can do a dream nail drop off the left side, or you can do an inventory drop with the elevator at the bottom while it's going up. Cancel your inventory and then drift to the side so you dodge the elevator and then drift back to the right. So many things you can do. It's honestly, and none of them saved like basically any time. Looks like ItsJinxed is going for the traditional. Just the standard falling. Now Ekkoet's going to be making his way to rafters. He talks to Lem here, and he didn't have to hit the lever earlier because he's not going from up and around, which ItsJinxed will be doing. Looks like... I'm not sure if Ekkoet was going for a right side rafters there, but he gets the left side very cleanly. And he makes it up. Nice. And hopefully we'll see an elevator squeeze from ItsJinxed. Unfortunate. One of the benefits of playing on 1.5 is that the elevators have a minor hitbox difference, where the corners where normally you'd like not be able to stand on because like there's spikes, just for some reason don't exist anymore, and you can like squeeze through the right side of the elevator and just fall through. It's a 1.5 exclusive trick, and it sort of saves up the time you would normally lose compared to 1.4 from inventory drops. Or not inventory drops, inventory hardfall cancels. Which actually I don't remember if Ekkoet even did. And I forgot to point out, if any of you were paying attention to Ekkoet's Lem selling spree, how much slower it is compared to ItsJinxed. Once again, the English coming back to haunt him. Now coming into this room, we're going to see Ekkoet fireball this bell, exit the room so that the stag comes in during a load time, and then come back in to take the stag. Making purposeful use of the fact that we use a loadless timer to get things done in the loads. So even though in real time it looks very slow, he's actually making a net gain in terms of his splits. And it looks like ItsJinxed is opting to do a more traditional fast toll, but kind of messing up the look down. Now runners are going to be making their way to Infected Crossroads and then Crystal Peaks. This is one of the hardest movement sections with RNG, given that you have the infected vengeflies that could mess up your pathing. You have minor husk RNG if you're attempting Pogax. You have laser cycles. It's pretty bad. You can see Ekkoet there taking 2 damage, managing to recover pretty cleanly though. Opting to take a heal and displaying some kind of fast strats. So with the elevator, with the scurry look down, it was discovered that you could also use focus to make the toll quickly disappear. So showcasing some pretty nifty tricks there. It looks like ItsJinxed does the same thing. That's crazy. Looks like Ekkoet's going for Pogax, gets some pretty bad RNG, and is just opting to go the regular way. More consistent, but it is unfortunate. And ItsJinxed is gonna go for... It's gonna go the reroute, or not reroute, the other way, just off the bat. The runner getting a Pogax. So this is that RNG coming in. And then here in this room that Ekkoet's in, the laser cycle is a bit RNG, depending on your load times. Down to 2 HP, that is very scary, since we opt to take a damage tank for Crystal Peak room, or Crystal Heart room. Ekkoet goes left side in this shopkey room, takes another damage. Looks like he healed, still chilling. And ItsJinxed makes their way through pretty cleanly. and both runner gets a nice inventory drop into the final room. Here our runners are going to be making their way on a predetermined cycle. The cycle actually doesn't matter until you get exactly here, or here where Ekkoet is, where you now opt to take a damage tank purposefully to squeeze through this cycle perfectly. And ItsJinxed looks like it's doing a damage list. I think I missed it. Oh no, Ekkoet! Dashes a little bit too early and takes a death. That is a very unfortunate death. He has to go all the way through. There's no checkpoints when it comes to crystal. He's gonna be the higher skill over again. All the Poggax room, the God Cycle room, everything. That's so unfortunate. And that's gonna be 2 minutes for death, if not more. Oh, he gets fucked up eventually. I don't know. That's not what I want to see. Wait, what? Now ItsJinxed is gonna be making their way to Umu. Let me know if the commentating issue is on my side. It keeps happening. Ekkoet looks like they're struggling quite a bit going back through Crystal Heart, through Crystal Peaks. Already down to 2 HP once again. I don't want to see another death. Please, Ekkoet. In the meantime, ItsJinxed making their way through Umu. Right now, he's looking to lure Umu to set patterns, get him to on the right or left side. Kind of hard to recover from a bit of a weird leading pattern. Umu is a bit too far to the right and too far down, and only gets 1 fireball. Quite an unfortunate first cycle, but Ekkoet, please! Please. And he makes it through. No underplat, but it's okay. We are safe. He is safe. And it looks like ItsJinxed having a bit of a rough Umu, taking it to the 3rd cycle. Not bad in a race setting at all. Lures Umu to a good spot for the 3rd cycle and gets it cleanly. Now here you're going to see Ekkoet attempt a pretty fancy trick where you dash off the wall off of Monomon's cage, set yourself up at a nice distance to talk to Quirrell, minimizing that time loss you get from having to turn around and move to the right position when you talk to Quirrell. And it looks like Ekkoet is... Ekkoet, not again, please. And he gets FCA cleanly. 2nd try. Like Ekkoet opts to take a heal, gathering soul to make up for it within that room where there's a ton of jellies. It's good quick decision making. Very nice in a race setting to be able to make those kinds of decisions, to not always just do the optimal route. That kind of thing can't be learned from only practicing ILs where you just reset every single attempt. That goes wrong. Now Ekkoet's going to be entering Umu, looking for a 2-cycle fight to make up that time loss to catch up. And for all you non-Chinese speaking fans out there, you're now getting a bit of lore understanding. Umu's dialogue is light for Monomom. So now every time you dream nail Umu, you know in Chinese that says light for Monomom. Good positioning, gets the first double fireball, that's usually the trickiest one. No damage tank! And unfortunately that's going to be a missed 2-cycle. But set up a really good position for a 3-cycle. Basically optimal damage minus 1 fireball plus full soul. So 3 cycles shouldn't be an issue. Plays the 2nd cycle perfectly. That's basically a 2-cycle minus that last fireball from the damage tank. So very good recovery. Doing a bunch of fancy damage tanks with the Dream Nails. Okay, Ekkoet. We'd love to see that. And here you'll see ItsJinxed doing their deepness route. Choosing to go through fungal wastes instead of doing QGA. It loses about 30 seconds to a first try QGA, but it's also worth noting that each QGA failed attempt, if you decide to heal it, loses like 5 or 6 seconds, so it's a lot. It's mainly for the consistency. I'm not sure if ItsJinxed is watching the run, but if he is, he's feeling a bit comfortable in his knowing that his time loss and reroute is a lot more safe now. Yeah, so Rick says a really good point in chat here, that Ekkoet has a lot of really cool movement, but that PB is more of a consistency thing. And the cool thing about seeing tournaments is, normally when you play a speedrun, you just practice for like a PB where you reset every attempt, and it's possible to have 0 consistency and still just get a god PB. But these tournaments give us more of a showcase on the other side of things, where people start to take more consistent strategies, have to practice for consistency, learn backups, and we get to see how the runner plays under pressure and see how they play just on the fly decision making. It's really cool to see that kind of aspect of speedrunning that we don't usually see watching people's PBs on SRC. Now we see both of our runners making their way to a pretty crucial section of their runs. Ekkoet QGA and ItsJinxed Beast Den. It looks like, was that his mouse that just panned over the screen? Not sure what happened. But Ekkoet taking 2 dunks to QGA, having a bit of trouble with the lineup. And he gets it nicely there. With QGA, you can dash onto that little ledge too high, and the game physically won't let you C-dash. Any too low, and you're basically screwed for the jump out afterwards. Looks like Ekkoet is choosing to gather soul here, probably to heal. He is sitting on pretty low HP for QGA, or for QG, especially if he chooses to not do a devout quit out. And a fancy swag strat C-dash, okay. Okay, Ekkoet. Now ItsJinxed is making his way to Beast Den. He is at a very high geo count. Could have chosen to do devout skip, but opts to kill it instead. No! Do it! What happened? I looked away for 2 seconds! Another unfortunate death. ItsJinxed! What is happening? Actually, I'd be down to see them die. Not as like a. Just want a closer race. But yeah, those spiders there are in a terrible position. Taking damage on that one wall will knock you into the spikes, and it's just an instant 2 death or 2 damage. I quit going for a double dash there. Opting to take all the swaggiest of strats now that they know they're behind. Please, Ekkoet, please. Ekkoet, please. Ekkoet, please. He dies here. The run is over. No. Oh no. This is a pretty rough spot since 2 deaths in a row, no Geo. It's gonna be a hard time for Ekkoet to find his way out of Beast's Den. On the other hand, ItsJinxed, loaded at 317 Geo. Showcasing a pretty cool trick there where it opens inventory as the ground trembles beneath him so that he gets that nice and easy inventory drop for free. Here at this toll, I'm not sure if ItsJinxed knows how to properly do the look down. He messed it up twice in a row now. You can't walk immediately after looking down. You have to allow the look down to complete. Because it's not the act of looking down that makes the toll come up. It's the knight looking back up after it looks down that makes the toll disappear. It's kind of weird. But basically that's why ItsJinxed messed up their look down twice. Ekkoet back down to 3 HP in Queen's Gardens. Not what you like to see at all. Ekkoet going for a very new left side Petra Arena. Not many runners opting to do that. Has the potential to be faster, but the danger comes in what we're seeing right now, where if you mess up, you're just stuck on the left side, which you never want to be on. And also going for a fancy dashless movement here. Very nice. Very clean. And ItsJinxed is starting his THK fight. He's looking for a lot of double hits. Or just no parries, no parries, no teleports. Misses a double there. Reacting to these triple slashes very well. Gets another double, gets another dash, but doesn't get the double. Another dash there, but still no double. Ekkoet, please. Down to 1 HP again. Choosing to heal, thank you, thank you. ItsJinxed struggling a bit with keeping up with THK's backdashes. Also getting a lot of unfortunate parries, not what he wants to see. They're good attack with these flame pillars, but just not spacing it properly to get any damage. Ekkoet, please. Onto the second phase, and an explosion attack, very good. Very good attack. He's pretty happy right now that he has this. He just constantly do nail fireballs into THK. Lots of free damage. And 2 spit attacks, also very nice. And a very clean response to that bounce attack. Kind of a newer, not newer, but more difficult version. And he gets to the 3rd scream. Very nice, 3 HP, he's comfortable. No scream skip, which is unfortunate. But he's going to be closing out this fight nicely. That's going to be GG's for ItsJinxed. A nice 38-50 it looks like, 51-52. Overall, very good run. On the other hand, Ekkoet showcasing some devout put out right now. Some nice tech that was only recently implemented into LP. But it's time for ItsJinxed 38-56. Only 10 seconds off of his PB. Very good run overall, showcasing some great consistency and some great race performance. Now moving our way back to Ekkoet. He is struggling a bit in Den. Already on 2 HP, taking a heal again, but he's gonna need 3 max soul. And he chooses to get it from this backup here. This backup pocket. I didn't even know this existed, to be honest. Chooses to save the grub. I can't remember if ItsJinxed saved the grub or not, but interesting decision. Deciding to take the minor time loss for the swag strat once again. And he gets a very clean devout kill. So now Ekkoet here is faced with a pretty big challenge, and that is he still needs 208 Geo for that 250 Geo stag that'll take him back to Dirtmouth. I mean, or he could always opt to walk back there. Something tells me he won't be doing that. And his biggest source is going to come from 3 Geo rocks that are strewn around Beast Den, but then also killing Devouts, which each drop 40 Geo. It's just a bit of a challenge to see how he's going to grab all the soul and how he's going to kill the Devouts without soul. Because Devouts can be a pretty tricky opponent without using fireballs, because you can pretty much only get 2 nail hits off them at a time, which makes them kind of a, I don't want to say casual player killer, but in the sense that they're very slow if you don't know how to fight them properly. That's 1 devout down. Up to 120 Geo. There's another Geo Rock cache up there. That'll put him to about 200. Never mind, I thought it was much more. Oh no. And Ekkoet resets the room, respawn the Devouts, I think. And it looks like Ekkoet doesn't know about the rest of the, Oh no. Okay, interesting damage tank, but gets a clean triple fireball off. It looks like Ekkoet doesn't know about the rest of the Geo Rocks in Beast Den. But then again, you aren't really put into this situation very often. Would quitting out to Hera not be faster on 160 Geo? On LP, when you quit out, I'm pretty sure that the Devout doesn't respawn. The one next to Hera. Very clean pogo stall from Ekkoet right here. If you take a pogo while the knight is fully up against the ceiling, you still get that height, and you just float in the air. Compared to if you're like just a pixel downwards and then you pogo, you'll move upwards, bonk into the wall, and then instantly fall down. So timing his pogos perfectly, he can get that pretty rude kill. Not a quick kill, but it's very cool. And he's out of Beast Den. Very nice. Once again, that English. And Ekkoet's going for another swag strat, or not swag, just a quick strat on this toll where you C dash to hit it, hit the bell, and then C dash back in. Once again, using those loads to save time. Kind of messes it up a little bit with the turnarounds, not activating quick toll, and then not canceling C dash out of the transition. And a very nice pogo to get up that ceiling. Now Ekkoet is going to be doing a 4 damage or 4 health THK. A little scary since usually how THK goes is the longer in the fight you go, the easier it gets. So most runners will opt to go guns blazing for the first before the second scream where THK starts stabbing himself, playing extremely aggressively, taking the damage as it comes, and then just healing it all back up while THK is stabbing himself, since at that point all damage to THK is reduced to 1. For scale, the base nail does 5 and Ekkoet's fireball does 20. And immediately starting off the parry, not great, but a double, which is good. THK doing a lot of dashes, which is very nice. Already down to the first screen. Ekkoet also struggling a bit to keep up with THK's pace. The fight at an optimal level, you'll see every single time that THK backdashes or backsteps, the runner will instantly dash forward to continue their damage cycle, never allowing THK a moment to breathe. But whenever you space THK out like this, like Ekkoet is doing, out of safety of course, he is on 2 HP, it gives way for THK to do a lot of attacks like this spit attack where you can't properly go behind him and do nail cancels. Down to the second screen. Very nice. Ekkoet can heal back up, opting to heal to full, sacrificing a bit of the soul, a bit of the time save with the damage for an extra layer of safety. Once again, having that safety in a race setting is very nice, easing your nerves and just allowing yourself to play a little better. And ultimately maybe even save a bit of the time that you would have from that extra fireball. And a very nice save. I don't know if that damage tank was purposeful, but cleanly dodged the 2 damage pillars. Also a fountain attack, very nice. One difference is that on... Oh no! We missed the views, the clickbait, the scream skip. One minor difference between 1221 and LP is that those pillars do 2 damage, so an optimal strat sometimes... Also, GG Ekkoet. Very nice save. It's good to see our runners have the willpower to complete the run and still play well despite the deaths, because it can be very disheartening, especially in speedrunning when we're just used to resetting every single run as soon as something goes wrong. So huge GG's to both of our runners. ItsJinxed for playing very nicely within his PB, and Ekkoet for having such nice swag strats despite the time losses. It's very nice to see. And yeah, let's see if we can get our runners in for a quick interview. And in the meantime, chat, if you have any questions for the runners, feel free to leave them now.
Hello.
Thank you, Rix. I try my best.
What?
But let me give you guys a quick secret. It's easier to commentate when you have amazing runners doing amazing things. There's always a lot to say when it comes to their runs. But yeah, once again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat. Also, hey Ekkoet, huge GG's. You had some of the coolest swag again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave playing this damn game for 4 years.
Okay. I assume I lost,
Huge
right?
GGs. Yeah. You ended with a 46-37, and ItsJinxed ended with a 38-56.
Oh, that's better than my PB though. This time.
Yeah. But you were playing really well despite all the setbacks.
Yeah.
And you were up until Watcher Nights, you had a very great run, and then a good recovery after it too.
My green taff was not very good though.
I heard that you were minus 30 off of Lyrian though.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That is really good for a race.
Like that's to my PB, yeah.
Also, hey, it's Jinx. GG's on the race. That was a very clean run. Played very nicely within your PB. But yeah, to both of our runners, anything you want to talk about with that race?
Well, it would be good to not die.
Yeah, well played. That's unlucky.
I felt like QJ was really mean to me today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I practiced QJ coming up to this run, and then I just didn't because I was not ready to just
I practiced
spend ages
QJ
at it.
before we started the run, and I got it like 5 times in a row. And then I
Yeah.
come to the run, and I died to QJ twice. Didn't I?
Yeah.
What
Or
happened to?
once to QG and then once in QG.
Yeah, what happened to my Geo? I don't know.
So it's Jinx. I don't know if you were watching the run, but Ekkoet died twice in Queen's Gardens and then lost all his Geo and had to pick it up back in
Oh,
Den.
that's fun. You know, I saw at the end of the run up he was in Den with no Geo. Thought, oh.
I was so disappointed at the end too when I didn't get the stream skip, even though I
Yeah,
set
you
up so well for
right
it.
next to it.
Uh,
Oh, GG.
Yeah, GG's.
yeah.
It's Jinxed. You said earlier that you ran you ran QGA, but then you decided to switch to Deepness for this race.
Yeah, well, it's a race. I want to be safe, you know, because if you die, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't just reset, obviously.
Yeah,
So-
I can tell.
So I think Deepness is safer.
And is that also the reason why you decide to take King Station Steel instead of Rafters?
Yeah, I have practiced rafters, but like I've run King Station for the whole time that I've run basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I just defaulted to basics.
I was so close
Nice.
to getting the 2 Cyclone Umu this run.
Yeah, Ekkoet. It was a very good first cycle minus the last fireball at the end, and then you also played the second cycle extremely clean, like basically perfect for what a 2 cycle would be.
Yeah. If I wouldn't have dashed into Umu, that would have been a 2 cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I was just slightly too close.
And then also, I have a question for you. It's Jinxed.
Yes.
Is there a reason why you don't use Sportsroom and choose to play on 1.5?
Well, I mean, I started, speedrunning thinking, well, I'll do QGA. And I
Right.
started with Deep Nest, obviously, because it's easier. And basically, I just have never, never bothered going for
Okay.
Sportsroom.
Any thoughts on trying it?
I might try. I mean, I still want to do QGA. It's just inconsistent for me, so
I see.
I will try Sportsroom, but I want to do QGA potentially for the next race and for my other
All right.
runs.
I look forward to seeing that.
Yes, me too.
I was really happy with my Mantis Claw split.
Oh, did you gold your Mantis Claw?
Yeah. That's like
Nice.
I got 40 and 30 seconds of time save there from that gold.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
that's
was
crazy.
plus 14 on that, so not as good.
So that was like I carried that time save all the way to Lorien, and
Yeah.
then lost it to Crystal Peaks.
How are you?
I was so close to getting C-Dash too. I think it was the
Mm-hmm.
second to last laser.
Yeah, you you made chat kind of go crazy, Ekkoet. Like every single time you were on 1 HP, because you were on 1 HP so much, the entire chat was just scrolling with like colon D's. It was crazy. And then you still kept going for the swag strats. Like you provided the content, man. That was fun to watch.
I mean, I've been practicing ELs for this a lot, so the spice threads are all I know.
Yeah, so that's what we were talking about, how practicing ILs and then is like the opposite of a race where all that consistency practice needs to come in.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for the C-dash cycle, I would
Mhm.
consider going for the damageless, but I don't remember how to do it. So I'm like, I either go for damage or I just go really slow. So,
Right.
but I'm not sure why felt like the lasers was messed up in the end. Might just be me being.
How are you feeling after you took the first death? Like, what was going through your head?
I was going in. I was like, I can't reset this, so I decided to keep going.
Mhm.
The only I kind of thought it was kind of nice too, though, because then I could get a second try on Pogax.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Which
nice.
I
No,
failed
that happened to
on.
me in my race too, where I died in Crystal Peaks. I was like, oh, I can do Fogex. And then also, Ekwood, we have a question for you, or two questions. Our first question is it difficult to do that infinite pogo stall on the devout?
No,
No?
it's
All right.
really easy.
And then our second question is, were you going for right side rafters?
No,
No? Okay, straight for the left. All right.
yeah, I haven't learned right side at all, so.
And once again, any closing remarks? If there are there any sections of the race either of you want to talk about from your own side?
Not really. I think it was all okay. Just lost stupid time in random places. But I didn't lose anything major. Didn't die. So
Yeah, it was an overall very clean run.
Yeah, for sure.
And Jinx, the chat is
Mm.
saying that that you're close on the verge of PBing, and I'm hoping to see
Yeah, I
another
was.
race PB like throughout
I
this whole
hope so.
race or just in general.
I think the nerves just got to me this time. I was 10 seconds off, I think.
Yeah.
So, pretty close.
The sunrise.
Yeah.
I was like just in what is it called? The the area where trap benches be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In there, I was like looking at my timer and like, okay, Jinx might be done by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's nothing else, I think that's it for today. It for race. Very great race. Echo, you had the best content, the best swag strats, and ItsJinxed. You performed so consistently. You played basically on time with your PB, never making any big mistakes, and then just getting through the run very nicely. That's what you'd like to see in a race.
Yes.
So basically,
So
we
yeah,
are polar opposites.
yes, you are. Huge GGs to both you guys,
Yeah,
showcasing
GG.
like two aspects of speedrunning.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to be rating SERP. Thank you for watching, guys. We got another race coming up in a couple hours. Huge GGs to both the runners. Thank you, Restreamer, for coming in last minute and saving this race. And yeah, that'll be it for today.